Hello, everyone. This is Hendrix from Starseed Talk. Today, we are going to interview this beautiful starseed in Australia. So she is going to tell us where she's from, star system, and some of her experiences.
Hi, hello, hi. My name is Chantel. I am currently living in Australia. I am just south of a town called Perth. It is beautiful down here. As far as my starseed background is, I honestly can't say, and I'll explain that a little bit more. But my spiritual awakening, I can definitely talk about because through and through, I have that down pat. Do you just want me to dive into it?
Yeah, start from the beginning. Yeah.
Listen to my story time. Okay, so a few years ago, I was in a hypnosis meditation. So even the reason that I was there was completely unpredictable. I had no business there at that point. I've always been quite spiritual and awake, but not to this degree at all, this capacity. Anyway, so I went with a friend. I kind of found myself actually going and doing it myself. And in this really, really deep hypnotic meditation state, which was essentially all about negative energy cleansing and bringing in the positive energy. And somewhere amongst this, I definitely unlocked something that I swear I honestly, truly, in that point of time, thought was God, because that was where my religious capacity was at that point, my education. And that was extremely changing for me, just in the point that I can't even describe it. I just remember, when you're following a guided meditation, you're unlocking doors and going downstairs and you're in beautiful places. It was like that. It was like a normal one, except
I prefer guided meditations myself. It
me
helps me so
too.
much unravel memories and stuff. I need guided meditations all the time.
Yeah, 100%. I can't really distinguish if I'm talking to myself or if my soul is talking to me when I'm doing my own. And that's why I
So
like to
what
just,
what that is when your own voice is speaking to you in your head, that's your higher self talking to you.
yeah, but I constantly have that voice. So I always confuse it with my ego.
Yeah, no, I was always like every time I asked a question, there'd always be an answer that would my voice would speak in my head, and there'd be an answer to it, and I'm like, how do I even know this information? Then I figured out this is your higher self communicating with yourself.
Yeah, oh, true. Well, that would be it. So at this point, sorry, I was just following through, and all of a sudden was this bright, bright light, which is why I say it's God. But everything, every awakening that I have, it's not so much what I see. I can see, with your third eye a little bit, but it's the feeling. I'm such a feeling and emotional and
It's called
feel like
source
I
energy. What you
physically,
saw.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
just this warm, bright joy. And I remember being so embarrassed because when that hypnosis like clipped his fingers that were all coming out of it, I couldn't stop smiling. Like it had gotten so deep. Like I was on cloud nine and I was smiling and I felt this joy and I just felt so much. And I spoke to my friend and she was like, well, that was boring. And that's who we were doing it for. So I don't know how I found myself in that point, but I did. And that just opened up my world. And then to the point now where we're talking about star seeds, because at that then I still really thought, it was God, and it is divine unity, God, Mother Gaia, whatever we want to believe. It definitely was, but I stopped interpreting it anything past God at that point because I was so young and I was still in church. And then at the beginning of this year, actually end of last year, I completely isolated myself. I moved to the opposite side of the country from where I was from. So I don't have any family, any friends. I've got my husband and my child, but my entire support system is completely, hours and hours and hours away. For me to get home, it's a 16-hour flight across Australia. So cutting out all that amazing support crew was hard, but also growing up in the same small town, you get so used to like a small town mindset. And so having none of that negativity and no influence at all and just growing, I just was pulled into different things, pulled into reading these books, pulled into listening to these YouTubes, pulled to go see an astrologer, which was completely foreign to me. And now I am almost 12 months into my first astrology course. Like I've just been pulled into so many different directions and opening myself up. And now I know I've got Kai, my spirit guide. She's with me all the time. I can see her. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. And I keep going to a place because I really want to find out my roots of where I'm meant to be. But
Describe your spiritual guide. What does she look like?
she is tall. She's so tall. She's blue. She's a really deep, deep, like sapphire blue. She's almost like a cat, like she's animalistic, but she's graceful. She's human.
Is she Illyrian? So this is a being you see when you meditate, and she's your guide.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so jealous. I love your kitty. She's
He's
so
just being
beautiful.
such a dad suck right now.
I love her. But that reminds, so Kai is tall, warm, blue. It's so hard to kind of say exactly what I think she is because of all the photos I've looked at of Lyrians and all those Syrian beings. She doesn't really look like any of them. I mean, if I was to put her as anything, she's kind of
more. She
more.
could be a hybrid too, right? There's so much life out there. Like there's millions and types of different beings. Like it could be anything.
Yeah.
Right? It could also be your higher self. It could be a reflective mirror of yourself. Usually our life guides, our life coaches are just our higher self, mirror images of our higher self.
Yeah. It's hard. Yeah, like I said, it's not words, it's sort of energies. Kai I can see because I've been speaking to her for so long now. And but it's it's just the energies. It's just like feeling that warm, like I can feel a physical embrace when I'm in my mind talking to her, feeling her soft and kindness. And
she might sound like a Lemurian or not a Larian, but like those avatar beings. What I can't remember what they were called, but they look like the Avatar for that movie Avatar. Those blue beings.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're very psychic and very empathic. Because I met a girl like you before that talked about these blue beings, and she said she feels the skin wrapped around her, and it feels like very blue velvet, very soft. That these beings are very loving. They have no mouths. They're just very telepathic. They speak in your mind. They're very positive beings. I'm gonna say Lemuria, and because there was Atlantis and Lemuria. I don't know if I'm saying the proper names, and those were one of the first beings that lived on Earth in the Atlantean wars with the reptilians, and that they were destroyed, but they moved on to higher dimensions. So that might be what you are.
Maybe. Anyway, so that's where I'm at with my spiritual journey, Starseed side of things.
Well, from my personal experience, like only Draconians contact me, right? So, because that's my family. So usually beings contact you in soul families, right? So we're probably finding out that this is what you are.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I feel. That's how I feel that I'm here. I'm studying astrology as well. So I was watching all of your videos over the last 24 hours. And you were talking to a lady, a Draconian soul as well, I think she said, from the Neverland, about soul incarnation and your soul meeting the body the moment that you're born. And from my perspective, the ancient astrology that I'm studying, which is the Babylonians and the Greek, that's exactly how they believe and interpreted life and soul incarnation as well. So that is why your rising sign, your ascendant, is the very moment that that soul enters the body. So that's how I feel about that as well.
Yeah, but like the soul enters the human body once it's born, right?
Yeah, like that is the moment that your spirit comes down, and that is the moment that you can be intercepted by other spirits and other things like that that can also come into your body. But as far as the original, from the great divine, ping, 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 down through all the planets and then into the earth.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's why I'm trying to, in Canada here, everyone's so like against abortions. I'm like, it's just the body, not the soul you're killing. And all these religious nuts are like, oh no, the soul is made within the womb of the woman. I'm like, that's the most dumbest thing you ever fucking said. Like that is weird, stupid. Like it's like building a robot. You don't fucking put the software in the body until the hardware is built, right? So. Oh, it's muted. You have to unmute it. Are you there?
Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's all good. So, as being you're very you're in your first awakening here. and you're seeing these life coaches off planet, do you feel like now that you're changing within, like your consciousness is changing, the person you were before your awakening is different, and then you're more energy empathic? If you feel any of those?
Oh, 100%. All of those things. And it's happened, it's been abrupt for me, and it's happened so, just so much, like a complete change. I don't really care about the things that I used to care about. Like
I said that on my
anything
shows
super,
too. Yeah.
yeah, anything
Your
superficial.
old self sheds. Like for all the other starseeds that are watching this and will be watching this, like what this is a very, this is why I like having people like you on here, because this I meet a lot of starseeds like you where they're just starting their awakening and just starting and trying to figure out where they're from, trying to figure out who they are, etc., etc. And a lot of starseeds have to understand that to truly be awakened is you need to shed your human side. It needs, and you just learn from it, but just throw it out. Like you need to be who you are, and when you accept who you are as a star seed, then that's when your memories and more is, once you accept it, you become it and you believe it, and then you are it, and that's all that there is.
Yeah. So from your perspective, so for me, I'll explain what I mean. For me, I feel like, as I said, the soul's entering the human body. We have the contract because we want to experience the human life. And I feel like starseeds are a little bit different because we've already had our incarnations on all the different star systems, or one or two or whatever it may be. And now we're at a point to help everybody to ascend. And I've tried to explain this to a few of my friends, and they're just like, well, if you're here for your human experience, why are you trying to turn it into something it's not? Have you heard that?
Yeah, so like me, like for example, like let's go back to perception, right? Like so I'm here to learn human. I've already learned human for 26 years. That was when I was 26. I'm 33 now. So the last 8 years I have been Jakarta. I don't need to learn humans anymore. I'm already have my experience here. I had it. I'm will always, I can still live it, but I'm so much more advanced thinking and more of a higher dimensional being that I can exist in many parallel realities at once and exist in many dimensions and experience fucking, like when I go off planet, I'm gone for years at a time, and I come back in this body, and I'm only here for like 12 hours in the day, and then I'm back off planet, right, in a different body, and vice versa, and it gets like it rolls like that, and then you'll happen to you too. When like probably 5 years from now, you'll be like off planet doing stuff, having families with other people or friends and stuff, visiting past like memories, or if even in the future you'll visit the future, and then you'll come back here, and then you'll be with your kid and your husband, and it'll be so hard to
Yeah.
juggle, and then you'll turn, and then the sad part is you become so alien to this planet that humans will start to annoy you. I've been hanging out with this girl. I well hung out with her and her boyfriend once, Emily, and she's experiencing the things that I'm experiencing now, where she's just like avoiding humans because she's so awakened that she cannot stand their ego, she cannot stand their negative energy, she cannot stand their stupidity, how slow they are, how like how closed off they are, how they're not willing to learn or to accept. And then like so like I'm at that point where I'm like avoiding contact with humans because it's just pointless unless they're willing to learn, then I'll teach, but other than that it's just pointless.
Yeah, I feel that. It is, they're just so, that's what I mean, traditional, so stuck and stubborn, bless them, that they don't want to, I can't communicate with most people anymore. That's how I feel. Everything is just so superficial, and the conversations are
And
so petty.
our thought pattern thinks so much faster than a human being. Like for example, I'm single, so I went on some dates. Instantly I was bored of their energy and how slow they were at communication, that I didn't even want to be there anymore. I was just like, this person's just so third dimensional, I just don't even want to be there anymore. So like I know that I have to, in the future, if I want to date again, I have to date like-minded people, star seeds, right? Because like human beings are just so slow communication. The energy fucking sucks. They complain about Instagram likes, Facebook fucking pictures, like just such third dimensional shit. And I just like, Jesus Christ, like I'll show you a real fucking problem off planet. Right.
You're
So
so funny. 8 years in, I guess it would get pretty old.
yeah, it does. Like sometimes I just have to be human to hang out with some of my human friends that I play hockey with, right? So
Yeah. Do you feel, I feel like more people are waking up now. I'm noticing it more now. And then I'm talking to other people that are also noticing changes and differences and growth. So,
oh yeah, for like the last 4 years, from what it was 4 years ago today, like I hear people in my dressing room at the hockey start talking about like trafficking rings and like start like indigo
um,
children and like secret space program. Like they're actually like starting to wake up, like very slow, but it is happening because I'm noticing. Even my mom had a fucking awakening. She was the biggest asleep person of all. So
that's amazing. I think older people, that older generation is going to be the hardest to ascend or open their minds and grow a little bit because they're just so
I
set in their
think
ways.
the millennials or like say the 18, 17, 16, 15 year olds, even like kids from birth until fucking six, they're already awakened. Like there's a lot of them, there a lot of star seeds that are awakened in that generation already.
Yeah,
It's just the people that are like 20s or mid 20s, the 35 are the hardest ones because they're already stuck in their ways for sure. And like you can
yeah,
tell when you talk to a human, like you just no point even talking to them about this because they need probably a few more incarnations before they even wake up. So
yeah, of course. Yes, I agree.
what? Do you want to have your awakening too, you little cat? Come here. Jeez, it's
Oh,
so
I love
fucking neat.
her.
Give me kisses. Yeah, he's just a dad suck right now. What's up? What do you want? Palm my face.
Oh,
Come
look
here.
at him
Come here, good
pouring you.
kiss. Give me a kiss. Yeah. He just wants me to rub him and love him because dad was gone for 2 hours. I'm sorry, I tried to have a life.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
Yeah, he is. So, do you have lots of like-minded friends in Australia like you, or are you all alone down there?
Um, Look, I'm a very bigger picture person. So I have only, like, I've not really ever been like an overly social person, and I've never really had time for many people that I don't have that emotional, genuine connection with. So my circle is really quite small of my friends. And like I said, where
Okay.
exactly I am right now, I have no one. But my friends that I do have, I talk to them about this. I talk to them about everything, and I'm sure they would have to. They're so much higher than normal 3D energy, right? Because they already are open and very loving and very joyful and very positive, and they're not too sucked into ridiculous energies. But they're not quite there either. So like they're not having me committed, like my parents probably would if I tried to talk to them about this. But
Did you say
they're,
have you committed?
yeah, I think they'd be a bit
That's
worried.
funny.
But no, my friends are good. They're not quite there, but they're open to listening. They're definitely.
You put it on mute again. Oh, are you there? Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as like the Matrix and like all of the horrific things that are going on in the world, they're definitely open to that. And then I think it's just one step further. Like once you start believing in how truly corrupt the world is, it's just one step further to see.
Yeah, that's what I was doing wrong for the first 6 years. I was like dropping the bomb on humans, like talking about secret space program, reptilians rule the world, blah blah, and they're just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'm like, "We need to start with basics, like the Matrix, okay? Money, debt system, just a thing on a computer. You all go to work, and you're all slaves to it, and you guys do nothing about it. And Federal Reserves are owned by these rich people that just print money and loan it to the government at interest rate and give it back to you. And it's just like you guys could literally just change your system tomorrow, just stop paying taxes, don't go to work, and just do a bartering system. Everyone does a civic duty, and that just get rid of the rich. Like rich, poor, and middle class is just an illusion. It's just money. You get rid of money, we're all the same.
Yeah. And like going from that, it's so difficult to see these people because even when I talk to them, they still think that it's the government that need to save the problem. You know, it comes to each individual person needs to start making all these conscious decisions and working together as the individual people
You know who the
rather than being
smartest
like,
people
oh,
alive
we've
were?
got government, we have to cancel the government, get a new government. It's
Yeah, like
God.
the American Constitution was written by probably the most smartest people ever alive, and it literally says in that Constitution that if the government fails you, you have the right to a revolution. No offense, all governments have failed humanity years ago. years ago,
Yeah,
right? It's
I'm
up
talking
to
across the board.
us. It's up to us to start a civil war worldwide. And like look at like France and Germany. For Germany, for example, everyone got together and parked all their cars on the highways, and they all walked home for a couple of days, and they forced their government to lower gas prices to a even dollar, and it can never be raised. And then there was those riots in France that completely blocked the government and the whole shut down the whole nation, and they changed a few tax laws. Like I don't know what the tax laws they changed, but they just forced it overnight. Like,
Yeah,
protesting does shit. You actually, unfortunately, bullets do change governments, but we can do a positive revolution, and you just have to say no more. The government can't get your money if you don't pay your taxes. If everyone does it, they can't arrest everyone, right? Like
exactly. Yeah,
they're not going to send the police after us because the police is us, right? So with all these riots and Black Lives Matters, all these riots, like police are starting to like learn their place, right? Like they're starting to be nicer and shit.
yeah. I don't know. They look pretty rough over there.
So is your husband or kid a Starseed?
My kid is a baby. I mean, I swear he is. He is just so. He's just this little beautiful soul. So he's only
How old
12
is
months
he?
old.
12
He's
months?
12 months.
So all
So
you
he's
got to
one
do
year.
is when he starts talking, you need to really do embrace him. He's going to say, "Mommy, I see this. I've seen that. There's these things in my dreams." Don't ever tell the kid that it's his imagination. You need to explore that.
Oh,
and make
definitely.
and make sure you do not give the sweet little kid artificial sugars. Don't give him MSGs. Don't give him fast foods. Get him on distilled water, no tap water, nothing. Make sure he's because you just from birth raise him healthy, so he will always be empathic and have his psychic abilities from birth, right? Because a lot of us, like my parents, raised us on bad diets, and they didn't know any better, and like it took us like 8 years eating healthy to get my psychic abilities back because there's so much years of damage of bad foods and sugars and
Yeah,
I mean all that crap. So like if I ever had a kid, my kid would never ever take. I'd just make up lies that my kid's allergic to artificial sugar, wheat, preservatives, pesticides, any
everything.
chocolates, anything. Do not give your kid that stuff. Like raise them clean because your kid 99% chance is a star seed, and you need to embrace that. A lot like my parents, they would say, "Oh, it's just your imagination. You're being crazy." And like I had to go to a psych ward when I was a kid, and they wanted to admit me because I told my mom I kept seeing beings, like these beings in my room, and they kept talking to me. And my mom's like, and she had to sit me down because I was saying it in school, and they wanted to commit me, and I was just like, so I pretended that I didn't see them anymore, and I was like, yeah, they're not there anymore, but I saw them. So I really wish my
That's
parents would engage with me and
yeah,
like tell me that our imagination isn't our imagination. We're actually kids are seeing this stuff. It's real. Especially the
yeah.
shadow people. Like all kids see the shadow people. Those are real energy beings that you see as a kid.
Yes. I went through the exact same thing with my parents. I used to tell my mom all the time. I would see little girls in the house. I would see people all the time, and I would tell my mom, and she like drilled it into me, like, Chantel, you're sleeping. And like, when
Yeah.
you repetitively hear that, I guess they just thought
Yeah,
I
it's called
was.
brainwashing your abilities away. When I was a kid, I swore to my mom I could move things with my mind. I opened and closed the door with my mind. And my mom sat me down. She's like, you know what? I had these abilities too when I was a kid, but my mom drove it out of me because she didn't want to have a weird kid in school. And I was just like, so I brainwashed myself that I didn't have these abilities anymore. It was like
Yeah.
because I didn't want to be made fun of.
Oh,
Because
that's so
when
sad.
these when say so your baby's 12 months into his new incarnation, what you
Yes.
got to do is when he starts understanding, be like, hey, little man, like, or little girl, so where'd you come from, what planet, like you need to like really engage because his memories are still fresh from his last incarnation, right? So
Yes, I cannot wait. I cannot wait till he can start talking to me a little bit.
and he'll thank you when he's older because he'll be like, thanks mom for embracing my abilities because like I'm so more far ahead and so more far advanced than all these other kids that are brainwashed by their parents to not think about this stuff.
Yeah. And you know what? I honestly think it takes like a really somebody on our level to see that, because if I had faced this 4 years ago and somebody said, oh no, like he's incarnated, you kind of, as a parent, as a human, as a 3D perspective, you think you lose that relationship. Like, he's not my baby. He's already lived a life before me. sort of thing. You may
He's
not
just
understand
playing
what
your
I'm saying.
baby in this lifetime. He chose you.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
we all before we incarnate, we choose our family. So he chose you. He's just playing your kid in
Yeah,
this lifetime. He's not actually your kid. He's probably a soul family from whatever. But
I
like,
know how
just
amazing.
respect it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like you've got to be in the right mind to raise it, to raise any baby as a starseed, other than just your 3D knowledge. I don't know how I'm trying to say what I'm trying to think right now. Because I'm an energy being. I'm not good with my words or technology or literally anything
Oh
else on
no,
this planet.
I completely understand you. I'm an energy. I'm like all about energy. Like I am so bad at texting. I'm so bad at spelling. So like I'll make a paragraph and people are like, if you're an alien, why do you have spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes? I'm like, because I don't fucking care.
No
Like,
fucking words in our
yeah,
language.
you got the point, right? You got the point. And they're like, well, aliens should be so smart. Like, you have no idea, like, with our incarnations here, like, we sit back and we watch humans, like, through high school and elementary school. Like, I didn't fit in at all because I didn't get school at all, or humans. I really don't get them. Plus, I was, like, dealing with a million negative energies in the school. So I was, like, being attacked every which way, like, negativity, and I was consumed. So, yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I don't know where I was going with that, but.
I don't know where we started. Basically, that we're energy beings and that you never really fit in at school.
Well, like speaking, right? Like speaking
Yeah,
is a third dimensional slave. So when I'm getting a download from higher dimensional beings, like sixth and fifth or whatever the hell it comes from, to translate those feelings and emotions and images that I see in my head into English is fucking. And I'm doing it at a fast pace, right? And like humans need to respect that. Like I'm trying to like decode this image from a
yeah,
higher, because most higher dimensional beings, they speak in metaphors. Like every draconian I ever met, every dragon being I ever met, they speak in metaphor. They show me a picture of a metaphor and I get it, but I have to speak it in English. So it's like fuck, I don't know, sometimes there's no words for it. So
yeah, I feel you. Hopefully, we can
so
just be telepathic in the
so
future.
how much do you see your life coach when you every time you go to sleep they take you to your body, or how does it work?
Kind of all the time. So I only just started seeing Kai, but I know Kai has been there forever because my life is just insane. It is like drama after drama, but no matter how bad it is, like I've always known I've had God on my side or a guardian angel because like I had a car accident once and it could have been horrific, but everybody was completely fine. And it's just crazy. And like stuff like that happens to me all the time. And I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
you have a
insane.
very bright energy, like super positive, loving. There's probably not a bad energy within you. And to let you know that this Kai person, this might be your also your twin flame that's looking after you too. If it's not a mirror reflection of yourself, usually it's your twin flame.
Maybe. I mean, if I ask her stuff straight out like that, you know, I don't get straight answers. Like I said, it's just
You
that
never, you
energy,
never,
it's
you,
that
you
warm
never
embrace.
will. If you act like sometimes I ask a question, like sometimes my guardian angels are Anubis or Horus, the Egyptian gods, and I'll ask them a question, and they will like look at me like they're annoyed with me. They like look at me like you already know the answer to that question. And like I have to ask the right questions with these like guardian angels, and then they'll answer in a metaphor. But like if I ask the dumb questions or self pity questions, they just look at me and they just get mad at, they kind of like annoyed with me, irritated with me, and I have to ask the right
Oh,
questions or they disappear. Yeah.
that's so funny. Kai says a lot. She'll tell me all the time, like, I'm not ready for it. Like, that's something I do feel. If I say I want to see something or I want to do something, she'll be like, not yet, not yet, not ready.
See, I did that. I convinced my guardian to let me see a past life memory of a love, like a wife and a kid,
Oh,
and
no.
they did. They let me live. So it was like 6 months of this lifetime that I had in past life. It was in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was in a military general and in the secret space program, and my wife was Claire, and my name was Hendrix, and we had a little daughter. We lived in a rancher. I've told the story a million times, but they let me live the entire 6 months there, and I was in sleeping in my bed for probably 6 hours, and it was like I was there. I
Yeah.
knew what I was doing. I knew where the remote was on the couch. I knew where my RV was. I knew where my graduation class was. Me and my wife fought all the time, but we loved each other so much. And I was shot and shot, and I've died in her arms in my graduation day at my centennial grad class. And I died in her arms, saying to her, um, "I will always love you this, and I will always love you in this life and next." No, sorry. Part of the journey is the end, so that's what they tell me. I will always love you in this life and the next. And then I died. But then, as I died, I woke up back in my bed, and I brought
Yeah.
all that emotion, all of that love, all of that regret, all that happiness, everything, every emotion from that lifetime into this body. I woke up crying, like, where is she? I miss her. Like, where the hell is she? Where's my daughter? Like, and then like
Um,
they wanted me to learn because I kept asking, I wanted to remember my past lives, and they're like, okay, you know, you keep asking, you're annoying as fuck. Here you go, you get what you want. Now you're gonna learn, and now I know why. You're not so they withhold our memories is because it's so emotional. It's so distracting. It took me months to get
yeah.
over that memory. So
Yeah, we have so much in common. I did a past life regression once as well, and it was so intense. And this is something I have a harder time convincing of my friends of how real this is than I do of reptilians running the government, honestly. But it was so intense, the feelings that I felt, and like I had a family, I had love, I had all of this stuff, and it's crazy, right? So I really wanted to do it. Long story short, I just wanted to do it. I'll leave all that stuff out. But basically, in this past life that I had, my child was really sick. And then she actually ended up dying. And then it showed the rest of my life there. And then would you believe that my child actually does have a genetic disease? And then, as I said, how I'm always like really blessed. Like, there is a genetic disease, but he's got a particular gene mutation which is actually treatable at 7%. So of all of the kids that have this disease, only 7% have this medication that actually gives them 10 years extra life. So like I'm always just blessed, like bad situation, but really the best of that bad situation. And had I have not gone through that entire experience for me and that past life, I didn't know he was sick at the moment either. I didn't know that. But it was all about showing me, because the woman or who I was in that past life completely destroyed her life after she lost her child, or as soon as she found out she was sick, just didn't handle it well, completely destroyed her life. And so then I
this
came
is
out,
you.
and yeah, it was me. And then so when I've come out of it, and again, like I was crying, my lady Carrie Ann, she was really worried. It was, and I couldn't talk about it for 2 months. I didn't tell anybody about it. It just sat with me. And then yeah, now that I kind of know what not to do and that everything's going to be okay, and like what I did, it's just crazy. I think past lives are huge and what we can learn and what I carry through from that human life to this human life.
Yeah, because I was so late. So I was shown past lives a few times, a lot of different past life where like there's one lifetime I was a rich oil stock guy. I was super rich, like billionaire. I had no one in my life because I was like a super um, rich, like grumpy type guy. I had a cat named Serby, and that was the only love of my life in that lifetime. And I had only two friends. They were an Asian couple. So what happened is they showed me my gravestone. It said I died at age 44. My name was so and so on the gravestone. I knew it was me, and then I floated over to my Asian couple friends, and I showed them my soul self, and like, oh my God, you're back from the dead. Like, how is that even possible? And I'm not here. I'm like, where is my cat? Like I gave you my, I left. So when I died in the house, uh, my assets were frozen because I didn't have a will, so I didn't go to anyone. But there was like some weird fucking code. If I told someone this code, they could have all my money. So what happened is the someone just let the cat out of the house, and my cat, and she was underneath a bridge for years by herself. So when I went to my Asian couple, I'm like, I'm going to give you my access codes to all my banks, and you are going to get all my money under one condition. They're like, what's that? I'm like, you need to find my fucking cat and give her the best life possible. So here's my access codes. So they agreed. So I gave my access codes. I floated over in my soul form, my ghost form, to the bridge where she was last seen. I couldn't find her. I was screaming her name, yelling her name, like, where are
Oh,
you? Like, I miss you so much. And then I woke up back in my bed. And then someone messaged me on Facebook, some psychic messaged me out of nowhere and said, hey, I have a message for you about your cat survey you have. is the reincarnation of she was your soulmate in that lifetime, and this is your guys' redo in this lifetime. So another I had another visitor come see me, and they're like, the reason why we keep showing you past lives, I keep dying of heart attacks, heart disease at such young ages. And in this lifetime, I was doing steroids, I was doing drugs 6 years ago, like just, and I was having in the last 2 years, I've been in and out of the hospital with severe allergy problems, like severe heart problems, and so I got off everything. I'm in 6 years sober off drugs, 2 years off steroids sober,
Good.
and but I've been so like I wear heart monitor 24/7 because I'm just trying to like see what affects my heart, and I've been like so heart health conscious, like body conscious, like so healthy, like I eat perfect, I don't eat any GMOs, nothing anymore, because I actually want, I'm 33 and I want to actually live. And so when I was starting, my body was starting to like fail at 33, 32, 31, where it was like these beings are showing me past life. If you don't change, this is going to happen to you again. You're prone to do this again. Cause I died in another lifetime at like age 39 from cocaine abuse. And I was
Oh,
just like, what the fuck? Like, if I don't change, I'm going to end up in the grave again, again. And then my soulmate is going to have to be by herself again. And yeah, so that's why I've been like I've always been like this last 6 months I've been so heart health conscious that I don't let anything affect me anymore.
good. I mean, horrific past lives that you've had to learn from, but good that you're being health
Oh,
conscious and
sorry, this
aware.
other memory just popped up. This was the craziest experience I ever had out of all my experiences. So I was on testosterone, and my blood was getting so thick that my heart rate was always way too high, and the doctor's like, yeah, you're gonna be prone to strokes at like 30. So this fucking being took me off planet. I was in a mall at a table. This guy comes up to me in a business suit, and it was like vivid as hell. Like you and me are talking. I'm like, where the fuck am I? Like, why am I in a fucking mall? No one's here. Just this guy in a business suit. He comes up. He projects himself as an old friend of mine named Dave Poland, and he looks exactly like Dave, but like I haven't seen Dave in 10 years, so he looks like the last image of Dave. Dave's looks a lot older now, so he's young
Yeah.
Dave. And I remember Dave. He got off all steroids 10 years ago. He beat it. He got clean. So he was like a representation of what I can do if I try it. And he sits me down, this being, and he looks at me, and I could tell he's alien because he's so awkward. He can't act human at all. And he's talking in my head. He's like, if you don't get off the testosterone, it will kill you, and you have to restart your incarnation all over again, and you need to trust that your natural test will get back. It will be hard for the next couple of years, but it will get back. And it was just like fucking like clear as day. And then I woke up back in my bed, and I'm like, holy fuck, man. Like if I don't listen to that fucking advice, man, I'm a fucking idiot. So I got fucking clean off everything. I was just like, I'm never doing this shit again. That was a higher being looking out for myself, right? Like I was like,
Yeah.
thank you so much, because they knew they always project themselves as someone you respect, someone that you got along with, someone that you'll listen to, someone that you'll look up to, someone that you can follow, right? And I was just like, oh, thanks for that, because I needed that like vision, right? So
Yeah. How good is that?
yeah. Yeah, and then because I know I'm watched like a hawk all the time from my ascended masters and like soul family, and they like to like step in when I do dumb shit.
That's so funny. You can't get away with anything, which is good. It sounds like you
No,
need.
and karma alone, karma beats the shit out of me. It spanks me hard, so like I know not to. I have to really control my draconian side and my reptilian side. So I'm just like I gotta work on. I'm like super nice now, and I don't do manipulation anymore because humans are so easy to manipulate, because I know karma will always get me. So
Yeah. So do you feel like a positive being, like a positive soul from your
I
draconian?
am a very positive person, but I'm just whatever I am light is whatever I am dark. There's always equal in me. I'm a what do they call a gray Jedi? I can be the most loving being on the planet, but I can be the most darkest. But it always balances, keeps each other in check, because good and bad doesn't exist. It's just a perception, right? And sometimes the
Yeah.
darkness will get me through the hardest things in life, but love will always conquer and overpower everything, right? So it's my because I'm Draconian, we're very very loyal. So what happens? Oh, here's my soulmate. She's right behind me. Say hi,
Look
Spook.
at them. They're so beautiful.
Get on here. Why is it not
Hi,
going with my
Julie.
camera? Yeah, I don't know why it's not switching, but whatever. Um, what were we saying again? Oh, there she is.
Draconians.
Huh?
Positive and negative in your Draconian
Oh yeah,
self.
so it's Draconian. We're very loyal. So it's like if someone ever betrays us, it's like watch out. Here comes the Draconian side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from what era? Because so my understanding of Draconians from like the very small limited resources that we have available right now is ancient, right? Very, very, very old. It came from the
They're
dragon.
one of the first. Draconians look like dragons. Just picture a dragon in Game of Thrones. That's exactly what they look like.
But then they lost their wings, right? The
Well,
bad
yeah.
ones.
There's hybrids. So there's called the real Dracos. The real Dracos are actually dragon-looking beings. They're gold, they're red, they're purple, white, whatever fucking color you can think of. Then there's the hybrid Dracos, which are humanoid. Like they stand on two legs and two arms. They got wings. They got a dragon tail. Like my twin flame, she's a hybrid. So she looks like a human with two wings, arms, legs, a tail. She's got a human face, but with like little scales on it, yellow eyes, fangs, big black hair, tons of tattoos all over her body. Me, I look like I have a dragon face, a big snout. I have a white body. I'm a white Draconian. I have no wings. I have no tail, and I have a really elongated skull. When I saw my
Yeah.
true form, and I'm just another hybrid. And reptilians, they look like humans, like they look like us, but they're just like reptilian scales, fangs, big yellow eyes, no wings. It depends. Like everything's genetically modified. Like there's some soldier classes that have wings. It just depends whatever it's made for, right? So
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, that's good. You're the most positive draconian soul that I have met. You're the only one, but you're also very positive, which is not what I envisioned in a draconian soul being like.
well, no, that's why my Instagram is the Lonely Draco, because when I tell people I'm Draconian, because I don't want to lie who I am, they're so scared. I'm just like, I understand, but like, don't be that scared. Like, I'm not like, look at me, I'm kissing cats. My cat's not
Oh,
scared of me.
yeah.
She's not scared of me, and she's a little kid. She's Illyrian. Like, come on.
Yeah, we trust her. We trust your opinion, pussycat. Give it a little pause.
Yeah, you tell him, Spooks. You tell him I'm a good person. Yeah. So, yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that's discussed everything.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Do you have any cats or pets at your house or companions?
Yeah, I do have heaps. I've got 2 cats and I've got a little dog and I've got my mother-in-law's cat at the moment. They're not as
I
loving as your
thought you were gonna
animals.
say your mother-in-law is a companion.
No, her cat. Bless her.
So before you go off, I just want to clarify: your little guy, he has that disease, and he only has 10 years left, or?
No, sorry. So it's cystic fibrosis, which you may have heard is quite popular now because it was the disease that was on that recent movie, 5 Feet Apart. That's about cystic fibrosis. And then it's a life-shortening genetic disease, but Canada, amazing. Canada has the longest life expectancy for it actually out of the world. So well done, Canada.
What is the life expectancy of that
So
disease?
it's about 37 to 45, which is
Okay,
good, right?
that's
Because
pretty
10
good.
years
Yeah,
ago it was much younger.
that's longer than most of my incarnations here. So
Right, they're doing a better job. With his gene mutation being treatable, it goes up to, it's like an extra 10 years, so you're looking at 55. But it's really hard to tell because sometimes kids don't make it through, sometimes they die in teenage years, sometimes they get all the way to like 70. It's just like a lot of transplants, it's just a lot more of extra work, which
you know what's so sad is that like I'm part of the secret space program, and I know that they have these med bays, or you ever watched the movie Elysium with Matt Damon?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so those med bays actually exist off planet, and like you would just have to put your kid in there, and he'd be cured, and he would live a full life. So it's pretty sad that they withhold that technology from us.
It is discussed. I feel like I know that, right? So this medication that I'm talking about, this is off topic, but I'm just going to say it because it reiterates how much the government fucks everyone. It is $500,000 per person per year forever. It's not a treatment. It's not a
500 grand for that?
500 grand. Sorry,
How
it's
are you
not
gonna?
it is a treatment. It's not a cure. So they've got to have it indefinitely for the rest of their life. And they released it to only 7% of the kit of all people. So of all the funding, everybody gives them so much money. Like it's a joke, because of course, why would they give us a one-off cure when they can make 500K per year per child for the
Oh
rest of
yeah,
their life?
like I know
And
for
that's
a
just
fucking
one.
fact that cancer is a man-made thing just to create a business. That's all it is. Like human life is cheap, right? So it's just it's like my mom. She when I was 22, she came home fucking diagnosed with cancer. She lost her hair. She like, was given 2 years to live, and she was puking with chemotherapy. And I was just like, Mom, if you got like a year left, like, I don't want to spend the rest of our days together. You know, puking, and you have to worry about what wigs you have to wear in public because you're so scared of being judged. And so I sat her down, and I was just like, why don't you just live the way you want to live and then get off the chemo? Because I think chemo's not doing shit. And so what she did
Yeah,
is she got off the chemo, her hair started to grow back. She just changed her diet, everything. No more fast foods, no more sugar, artificial sugar, just plant sugar, fruit sugar only. Positive thinking, positive healing, grounding, no more stress, nothing. She's still alive today, and that was I'm 33, so like, and she cured it. It's gone. They have no idea how the fuck she did it.
amazing.
And
Yeah,
great. I've heard so many miracle stories like that. Just positive change, diet. Chemotherapy has like a 2% success rate. It's fucking stupid. It's a waste of fucking money. And like doctors are going on YouTube videos now saying that we get paid to sell this shit, and they don't even bring up Eastern medicine or at all, because like, who was the guy? Like, Charlie Sheen? Charlie Sheen was diagnosed with AIDS or HIV, whatever the fuck it was. He
yeah,
found it wasn't a cure, but he found some guy in Mexico. True story. Was a doctor who was a doctor in the United States, but was a Mexican. He found out that certain types of goat's milk, if you drink it once a day, boosts your immune system so high that it completely makes the HIV and AIDS inert. Like, you have no more symptoms. You can't pass it along. You can't die from it. You just got to make sure you drink this goat milk. And this doctor goes on TV saying, "Yeah, I brought this goat's milk to FDA, and they fucking removed my license and they kicked me out of the United States." And I was just
yeah.
like, "What?" And Charlie Sheen was talking about this forever about it, and he's like, "It's just fucking bullshit,
It's
man. Like,
disgusting what they do.
it's
It
disgust.
is.
Right there alone should be enough to start a revolution."
Exactly. We're just tower on tower of bullshit. I don't know how humans
You know
how
what the
we're.
most embarrassing thing I think is when people run for cures of cancer? I'm like, you're a bunch of fucking sheep. Stop, run to the government office and fucking shut it down and demand a cure for cancer. Stop fucking. Oh, like, there were so many people that came out full disclosure, like, oh, all those donations, that we just keep the money. Right? Like it's
Yeah,
fucking. Oh, we're donating. We're doing something good. I'm like, how do you know where the fuck is that money actually going? Like, where the
yeah,
fuck? Like, look at all that money that was donated to Haiti, and then someone actually went there and took a picture of all the houses that were supposed to be built for after that big fucking storm happened. The fucking
yeah,
Red Cross or Blue Cross, who the fuck it was, they built like tents in a small little village, and that was it. And there was like millions and millions of dollars
yeah.
donated to the fucking Blue Cross, Red Cross, where the fuck it was. And like, to build like 7 tents that you could buy at Walmart. Like, it's just fucked
It's
up.
so
And people are like, we're running for a cure for breast cancer. Like, they have a fucking cure. They're just not going to give it to you. Stop running. Grab a fucking baseball bat, go to the government and break their fucking legs, get them on their fucking knees and grab that shit. Sometimes you bullets change governments, and look at the American Civil War. They had to fucking do it. They had to do it to change governments, and fucking, when they had to fight against England to get their independence. Sorry, sometimes you got to get greasy to do it. So, um, but I'm a strong believer, because Miss Starseed, that this needs to be a positive revolution change, because if we change our future with negativity, we'll have a negative future. But if we change it with positive
yeah,
start, it'll be a positive timeline. That is the
yeah,
timeline we need to focus on, because I'm Draconian. My Draconian's mind is like, bomb him, kill him, rape him, like, you know what I mean? Like, destroy their bloodlines, make sure they can never give birth again or ever incarnate here again, the government officials. But like that, yeah, and I don't
you're
really,
hilarious.
yeah, he doesn't
I'm
really
sure
like to
that's
talk much.
I feel you, but with love and
Well, it's
light.
just sad because I have a lot of friends that lost their parents to cancers, and you see the pain and the hurt, and it's just like, and I'm a star seed. I know they have these medical beds off planets, and the rich and famous get to use them, and us, it's because we do nothing about it. We, just like Woody Harrelson made a video, we are the problem, not the rich, because we do nothing about it.
Yeah,
Like, he's like, if you want McDonald's to change its food to healthy food, just stop buying it. Overnight, they'd have to change it.
it's exactly
Like,
right. Humans just need to work together collectively. Like, I don't believe we need to do these huge killing
no,
riot,
no,
whatever.
no. My
Like,
Draconian side, yeah, but my star seed, my higher dimension side, no, I don't believe in it. Like today, I got mad at some guy for pouring water on ants. Like, respect all life. You can't do that. You can't treat any life like that anymore. That's why we have such a we treat each other like shits, because we're so humans are so revengeful and hateful. And I told humans, like, to get this positive change, you're gonna have to forgive. And
yeah,
because forgiveness is the most strongest power in the world. You don't have to forget, but you can forgive and move forward. And last night I was off world in a giant gymnasium. There was hundreds of star seeds sitting in a class. This gymnasium. There was an alien standing in front of us all. We're all sitting in chairs. I think it's all the star seeds that were, are awakened. They're all in this gymnasium, and then this alien just says to all of us in our heads, he's like, okay, it's time to tell the world who you are, and like, get this going, get the fucking, like, start your mission. And all the star seeds were fucking quiet. You could hear crickets. That's how quiet it was. I stood up in my draconian body. I'm like, hey, I'm Yakarta. I'm a Draco. Uh, I'm from this system. I've been awakened for so long. I've been like telling my story, blah blah blah, like showing them how I would talk to humans from now on. And then when it quiet and I look around, I'm like, come on, people, fucking get up, stop being shy, like, stop being embarrassed of who you truly are. Then there's a lady jumps up, I'm Illyrian, I'm from Sirius B. Another one jumped up, like, it was just like a little chain reaction of explosions of people like yelling, like, I'm so sorry, I am. This is who I am. It was nice to see
that's
everyone
great. That's so
break out of their
good.
comfort zone. Because there's a lot of starseeds that message me or email me. I'm so scared. I'm so nervous. I don't want my friends or family or my boss to find out. I'm like, who fucking cares? Like, be yourself. Set an example. Once you accept it, you'll be so free, so much more happier inside, because you're not hiding by a mask anymore. Because this is who you are. You're afraid to be accepted by third dimensional beings. Like, it's a little bit weird because you're a higher dimensional being there, so they should be, a little more shyer to talk to you than you being yourself to them. Oh, did we lose you? Hello? Your camera froze. All right, well, it's coming up to an hour here. Her camera froze. So this was a very good video for people that are starting to get into star seeds and know their first awakening and who they are. So thanks for everyone seeing, and I'll see you guys later. Remember, love and light. Love you all.